Welcome to my channel. In this session, we will discuss the properties of altitudes drawn in triangles. Then we solve a couple of questions applying these properties. This is the 8th in the series of geometry videos that we are making. What is an altitude? An altitude is a perpendicular drawn from one side to the opposite vertex. From one side, let's say from BC, I'm drawing a perpendicular to opposite vertex A. So AD is the perpendicular from BC, or from AC. If you look at this, I'm drawing to opposite vertex B. B is the perpendicular from AC. Similarly, from AB, we are drawing CF. Now, the question is the foot of the perpendicular midpoint? Say, this AD we are drawing from BC, this D, is it the midpoint of BC? It may or may not. When it can be? The D can be midpoint of BC provided the other two sides, that is AB and AC, are equal, means then it is the midpoint. If they are not equal, it need not be, right? So it can be the midpoint when the other two sides of the triangle are equal. So in an isosceles triangle, if you are drawing the perpendicular to the base is the one which is not equal, so the other two sides are equal, hence it can be midpoint. So the foot of the altitude drawn to the base of isosceles triangle is the midpoint of the base, because the other two sides are equal. Or if you take an equilateral triangle, in equilateral triangle all three sides are equal. Because all three sides are equal, this foot of the perpendicular D will be the midpoint of BC. Or if I draw BE, this E will be the midpoint of AC. Or if I take CF is the perpendicular here, this F will be the midpoint of AB. Because every time you take a particular height, the other two sides are equal. If you are drawing this, the other two sides are equal. Because all three sides are equal, in an equilateral triangle, the foot of the perpendicular is the midpoint. But here, in isosceles triangle, only the foot of the perpendicular drawn to the base will be the midpoint, right? So, next one, students, in a triangle, altitude drawn to the largest side of the triangle is the shortest one. Suppose if I say AC is the largest side, if I say, then BE will be the shortest height or altitude. Why? Let's see. We know area of a triangle is half base into height. We discussed in the previous session. Area of a triangle is half base into height. Now, if you look at this here, I can say half base BC into AD. We discussed this part in the previous session. Similarly, we can also say half AC into the height BE, or we can say half AB into CF. All these three will give you area of triangle, means can I equate it? Half is common, means if you equate all these three, we can say BC into AD, AC into BE, AB into CF. Product is constant. See, product of the side and its corresponding height is constant. When product of two variables is constant, they are in inverse variation or not. So here the product is constant, means they vary inversely. That's the reason the largest side of the triangle will have the shortest height, or the shortest side of the triangle will have the longest height. Suppose if I say BC is the shortest side, then AD will be the longest height, right? This applies for medians also, actually, right? In a right angle triangle, we have a special case. In a right angle triangle, if you look at this, right angle is at B, AC is the hypotenuse. So this BD is the perpendicular drawn to hypotenuse. In the given diagram, BD is the perpendicular drawn to the hypotenuse. AC means this BD square equals to AD into DC. This is the first one. BD square will be equal to AD into DC. Second one, 1 by BD square equals to 1 by BD square equals to 1 by AB square plus 1 by BC square. These are the two special cases in a right angle triangle. The altitude or height. Altitude or height both are one and the same. Whether you write it altitude or whether you say height, both are same. Drawn to hypotenuse, we have these special qualities, right? Now let's solve a couple of questions on this. In an isosceles triangle, the base is 12 centimeters and its altitude is 8 centimeters. Find the perimeter of the triangle. So we know the base is the one which is not equal. So the other two sides are equal. Let's say ABC. The altitude is 8 centimeters. The perpendicular, let us say D. This is 8. But you know, because these two sides are equal, the foot of the perpendicular, this D is the midpoint of BC. If D is the midpoint of BC, this CD is going to be 6, because this BC is 12. If this is 6 and this is 8, we have a right angle triangle. Now this ADC is a right angle triangle. AC square is going to be AD square plus DC square. You can easily make out the sides are 8 and 6. 8 square plus 6 square, 10 square it will be. 64 plus 36, 100, 10 square. AC is 10. This is 10. But if AC is 10, AB is also 10 because it's isosceles triangle. Now what is the perimeter? Perimeter is nothing but sum of 3 sides. So perimeter equals to 10 plus 10 plus what is this side we know? 12. So it is 32 centimeters. Right? Let's take up one more. In a right angle triangle, the sides that include the right angle are 12 centimeters and 16 centimeters. Find the altitude drawn to the hypotenuse. We have discussed just now that in a right angle triangle, if say ABC and this is right angle at B, this is hypotenuse, this is the altitude drawn to the hypotenuse, let us say D. We discussed just now that 1 by BD square equals to 1 by AB square plus 1 by BC square. Here what are AB and BC? The sides that include the right angle, which are 12 and 16. We need to find BD means, if you substitute here 1 by BD square equals to 1 by 12 square plus 1 by 16 square. If the LCM is 12 square and 16 square, 12 square goes 16 square times, 16 square goes 12 square times, 16 square plus 12 square will be 20 square, because 16 square is 256, 12 square is 144, it will be 400, which is 20 square. So I can write 20 square by 12 square into 16 square, that is 1 by BD square. So BD square is going to be 12 square into 16 square by 20 square, or BD is going to be 12 into 16 by 20. You can say 4 5s, 4 3s, 48 by 5, which is 9.6 centimeters. This is one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is, since we know the two sides are 12 and 16, the hypotenuse is going to be 20. You can say 4 3s, 4 4s, this is 4 5s, triplets of right angle triangle. Is it not this triplet used? 4 3s, 4 4s, it is 4 5s. If you want, you can check. As I have just told you now, 12 square plus 16 square will be equal to 20 square. Applying the Pythagoras theorem, you can say this is 20. Once you know this, area of a right angle triangle formula is, in the previous session we have discussed a formula for area of triangles. Right angle triangle, we have a formula which says that area equals to half into product of the two sides that include the right angle, half into 12 into 16. For any triangle, we have a formula that half base into height. If I take AC as the base, BD as the height, we can say half AC into BD is also going to give you area of a triangle. So half into AC, that is 20, into BD I have to find out. Half gets cancelled, the 20 comes here. BD equals to 12 into 16 by 20. We got the same thing here or not? Yes. So the answer will be 9.6 centimeters. This is the second way of answering the question, right? So these are a couple of questions based on the altitudes. Students, for more on geometry, please reach me on my profile at Udemy. The link is given below in the description. You find a course, a comprehensive course on geometry there, right? Thank you.